Learning activity number 6. Fire safety. Importance of fire safety. Putting a fire prevention plan in a place can significantly reduce the extent of damage that a fire can cause and help to avert one from breaking out in the first place. After a fire emergency evacuation plan details how you and your staff throughout the building can exit and a safe and appropriate manner. So what is fire? Putting a fire prevention plan in a place can significantly reduce the extent of damage a fire caused to avert from one breaking out in the first place. A fire emergency evacuation plan details how you and your staff throughout the building can exit in a safe and appropriate manner or burning sensation in the body. Fire triangle or tetrahedron. So, coal materials, heat, fuel, and oxygen is the chemical chain reaction of a fire. Relevance of fire triangle on extinguishing fire. Oxygen, heat, and fuel are frequently referred to as the fire triangle. Add in the fourth element, the chemical reaction, and you eventually have a fire tetrahedron. The important thing to remember is take any of these four things away and you will not have a fire or the fire will be extinguished. 5 different classes of fires. Class A, solid materials such as wood, paper, fabric, and some plastic. Class B, liquid or gas such as alcohol, ethane, gasoline, or grease. Class C, electrical failure from the appliances, electronic equipment, and wiring. Class D are the metallic substances such as sodium, titanium, zirconium, or magnesium. Class K, grease or oil fires specifically from cooking. Class A fires, ordinary fires. Class A fires are the most commonly of the 5 different classes of fires. They occur when common combustible material like wood, paper, fabric, trash, and light plastics catch fire. These accidental fires are ubiquitous across a variety of industries, so it's recommended to have an adequate protection against ordinary fires in addition to other condition-specific fires. Despite being ordinary, don't rule this class for a fire low risk. If there are an abundance of fuel present, this fire can intensify quickly. It's best to put out a Class A fire quickly before it spreads using water or monoammonium phosphate. Class B fires, liquid and gases. Class B fires involve flammable liquid and gases, specifically fuels like petroleum or petroleum-based products such as gasoline, paint, and kerosene. Other gases that are highly flammable are propane and butane, which are commonly causes of Class B fires. The best way to deal with this type of fires is smothering them, removing oxygen using foam or CO2 fire suppression equipment. Be aware that Class B fires do not include grease fires or cooking fires, which belong to their own class, Class K. Class C fires, electrical fires. Electrical fires fall under Class C and are common on facilities that make heavy use of electrical equipment, but they can occur in a wide range of industries. For example, data centers might be an obvious risk area of Class C fires. They must have safeguards in place to deal with electrical fires. Construction sites are another common Class C fire risk. Electrical power tools or appliances used for cooking can cause sparks to ignite combustible materials and intensify rapidly. Old buildings with bad wiring or space heaters present more concern. Electrical fires require non-conductive materials to extinguish the flame, so water alone is not a good solution. Facilities with sensitive equipment may prefer clean agent suppression because it won't leave residue or damage electrical equipment. Class D fires, metallic fires. Class D fires are not as common as the other classes, but they do require special attention because they can be specifically difficult to extinguish. Metallic fires involve flammable materials like titanium, aluminum, magnesium, and potassium, all commonly occurring in laboratories. Class D fires cannot be addressed with water, as this can exacerbate of the fire and be potentially dangerous. Dry powder agents are the best solution for smothering the flames and limiting damage to property or people. Class K fires, grease fires, or cooking fires. Class K fires involve flammable liquid similar to Class B fires, but are specifically related to food service and restaurant industry. These common fires start from the combustion of liquid cooking materials, including grease, oils, and vegetable and animal fats. Because they can spread quickly and be difficult to manage, Class K fires are some of the most dangerous. Water can make the situation worse, but smothering the flames or using a wet agent fire extinguisher is effective. Now that we understand how each fire starts, we can prepare for how to fight them, or better yet, prevent them from happening in this first place. Prevention of fire outbreak. Avoid unattended or careless use of candles. No open flames are allowed inside any TOTS university or building. Keep barbecue grills at least 10 feet from the house. Never store the grill with the propane tank inside your house. Propane vapors are heavier than air and any leak of the gas would travel down to an ignition source, such as a pilot light or electrical arc, that would initiate an explosion that would be fatal to anyone inside the house. Do not disable smoke or CO detectors. These are life-saving devices that will give you an early warning to a life-threatening event. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, is an odorless, colorless, and tasteless gas known as the silent killer that is the most abundant deadly byproduct of fire. Tampering, covering, disabling fire detection devices is a criminal offense, punishable by imprisonment and a fine and university disciplinary action. Do not smoke indoors. Smoking is prohibited in all TOTS university building. Smoking will result in a removal of the offender on campus housing. Do not leave your cooking unattended. Cooking is the number one cause of residential fires. Unattended cooking increases the chance of a stove-top fire. Watch what you heat and never overheat cooking oils. Should a flash fire occur in a pan, carefully slide a cover over the pan to smother the fire. Do not move it to the sink or apply water to it. This will cause the flaming oil to splash and spread the fire to surrounding areas. Provision for early fire detection. Smoke detection, fire sprinklers, fire extinguishers, and emergency lighting are installed to protect you in a case of emergency. Block all damaged equipment cannot do its job in providing early warning or suppression when needed. Prevention of fire spreading. Closing doors to prevent the spread of fire. One of the most effective measures to prevent fire from spreading through a building and reduce smoke damage is to ensure that all internal doors are kept shut, particularly out of the school hours. A routine should be established to ensure that this is done when the school closes each day. Sealing gaps in the building structure to prevent the spread of fire. Fire can easily spread through any holes and gaps in the building structure. All pipe and service ducts and any others opening in the wall, floors, partitions, and ceilings for the passage of building services should be adequately sealed with fire-resisting materials in order to minimize the danger of the spread of heat, smoke, or fumes. Procedures should be put in place after work are completed to ensure that contractors have sealed any gaps created by their work. Installation of additional pipes for heating or ducts for ventilation. Fire safety precaution. Emergency planning. You need to be prepared for an emergency such as fire. An emergency plan should be clearly explain what to do in the event of an emergency. It should also describe responsibilities of key employees and what they need to do. You should create a written evacuation procedure. This procedure should explain what needs to happen in the event of a fire alarm being raised, for example, the location of the fire alarm call points, extinguisher, exit, and details of nominated persons along with their areas of responsibility. It's very important that you train your employees, ensure that they are familiar with the emergency plan. You should then test the arrangement of the plan regularly. You should also carry out a fire drill at least twice a year. The drill will help to ensure the plan works and the people can follow it. You should correct any problems found during the drill. Fire alarms and detectors. You need to provide a method of detecting a fire quickly and raising the alarm. The warning system, when it has been set off from any point, should be clearly heard throughout the premises. It should provide enough warning for people to evacuate the building safely. Additionally, you should provide clear instruction or notice showing people how to operate the warning system and how to respond to it. It's important all fire safety measures are maintained and regularly tested. You should test your fire alarms weekly. Escape routes. All escape routes must be easily identifiable, with instructions about the means of escape displayed. You also need to provide instructions and training for your employees on how to escape the event of an emergency. You need to ensure that there are enough exits through the building and they are in the right places. This will allow you to guarantee that in the event of a fire anywhere in the building, there is at least one free route available. The type of size of exit will depend on the number of people likely to use them in the event of an evacuation. Escape routes must be adequately illuminated and free of many obstacles. You should do daily checks to ensure this. Evacuation of disabled people. You need to make arrangements to ensure the safe evacuation of everybody in your premises. Your fire risk assessment should identify group of people at risk, taking particular care of vulnerable groups or individuals, for example, children, the elderly, and people with disabilities. To help identify their needs, you should create personal emergency evacuation plans when required. The PEPs should be tailored to the individual and should give clear explanations of the evacuation procedure. For premises where it is not known who could be, such as hotels, standard PEP can be created. These are procedures to assist people with disabilities. Employees should be trained on how to put PEPs into practice in event of an emergency. Fire extinguisher, any fire needs. Oxygen, fuel, heat. Different fire extinguisher will remove one of the elements to stop it. When deciding ways of fighting fires, you need to decide on the type of the extinguisher and where it should be located. This will guarantee that they are suitable for the type of fire that could occur and the sufficient capacity of the fire at the premises. People that are likely to use fire extinguishers should receive training on how to use them. You need to ensure that fire extinguishers are serviced manually. Oh, thank you.